Hello and welcome to Insanity's Guide to Fallen Protector's 25-man normal mode. This is the second boss in Siege of Orgrimmar. This fight has a council layout with 3 unique bosses that we encounter at the same time. It's all about execution, and an important point to note from the beginning is that while all 3 bosses have their own health pools, they must die within 10 seconds of each other, or they will heal up. Think Corehound packs in Molten Core. One by one, bring each boss to 66%, deal with their desperate measures, bring each to 33% for round 2 of desperate measures, and then finish them off together. For this fight, we will bring 2 tanks, 5 to 6 healers, and an assortment of both ranged and melee DPS. I will first explain the boss's normal abilities and then discuss what happens during desperate measures. Rook's Stone Toe is the first one we'll be playing with. He has 3 mechanics. The first ability is called Vengeful Strikes. Rook uses this to stun his current target and then deals high physical damage in a frontal cone. Because of this, tanks need to face Rook away from the raid. The second ability is called Corrupted Brew. He tosses a keg of brew out at a random raid member. It looks like a brown tornado beneath your feet. So, watch your feet and move. The final ability he uses is called Clash. He uses this to charge randomly and begins channeling Corruption Kick. This ability does some nasty damage and also applies a dot which deals moderate amounts of shadow damage. Don't stand in front of him. Healers, you can dispel this dot. Which brings us to discussing desperate measures. Upon reaching 66 and 33%, Rook will kneel, become untargetable, and summon 3 adds: Embodied Misery, Embodied Sorrow, and Embodied Gloom. We must defeat these adds to get Rook to return to fighting. Sorrow casts Inferno's Strike on a random raid member, which is indicated by an orange circle. Moments later, it deals a massive amount of damage, which is split between all players within the circle. So, stack up and kill Sorrow first, or you may end up losing some of your raiders. Misery casts Defiled Ground, which knocks its tank back and leaves behind a void zone. The last add, Gloom, casts Corruption Shock, which should be interrupted. Let's move on to Softfoot. Softfoot applies Garrote, which is a bleed on random targets. Its duration is limited and it cannot be dispelled. He also uses Gouge. This ability incapacitates his current target for 6 seconds, and he'll pick a new raid member to attack for that duration. If the tank has his back to Softfoot when he gouges, the tank won't be incapacitated, only knocked back. So, turn around. He'll alternate poisons that he uses. He'll either rock Noxious, which leaves void zones on the ground, or Instant Poison, which causes his melee attacks to hit like a truck. When Softfoot hits desperate measures, he'll remove himself from the fight and summon an add called Embodied Anguish. This add casts Mark of Anguish on a random raid member, and he'll begin to walk towards them. This debuff roots the player in place, deals shadow damage over time, and if he reaches you, he'll use melee attacks to apply a stacking debuff called Shadow Weakness. Click the new action button to pass this to the tank that was on Softfoot, as he'll be more equipped to deal with the large amount of incoming damage. Failure to do so may result in an untimely demise. On to Sun Tenderheart. She uses an ability called Sha Shear, which is a channeled spell that can be interrupted. Note that once you interrupt it, she'll immediately begin to recast it on a new target. Because of this boss does not need to be tanked. Her ability, Shadow Word Bane, is a dot that should be immediately dispelled. Healers, this is probably the most important part of the fight for you, so dispel, dispel, dispel. The last ability is Calamity, a raid-wide damaging ability that takes 30% of each player's maximum health, but thankfully it removes Shadow Word Bane when it's cast. When Tenderheart hits desperate measures, she'll cast Dark Meditation. Stand inside the protective barrier in the center of the area to reduce the damage taken by 35%. She will summon adds Desperate and Despair. Ranged take these down. She also summons tiny adds inside the barrier. Just AoE those guys. We choose to use our heroism at 10% just to make sure we can clean up all the bosses within the allotted 10-second window. Quick recap. Tanks, face Rook away from the raid. Pick up Misery, Sorrow, and Gloom. Kite Misery to stay out of void zones. If you're tanking Softfoot, turn before he gouges. Healers, dispel Shadow Word Bane before it has a chance to tick, Beware of the raid-wide damage of Calamity and Dark Meditation. DPS, pay attention to DPS the correct target. Everyone should make sure to avoid Rook when he's kicking, and stand inside the orange circle during Rook's desperate measures. Thank you for watching. If this video helped you out at all, please make sure you toss it a like. We really appreciate it, and it encourages us to keep putting out more guides. Please check out our other guides posted for Siege of Orgrimmar, and we'll see you around.